thanks for joining me. We're going to read a story. It's a pumpkin story. This is called Patty's Pumpkin Patch. The really cool thing about Patty's Pumpkin Patch is we're going to read the story, but on every page there's something that starts with a letter. So we're going to go through the alphabet and see some things from A to Z in Patty's Pumpkin Patch. Come look inside my pumpkin patch and see a world of life from A to Z. The frost is gone, spring is here. Put the tractor into gear, plow the fields of weeds and grass. It's pumpkin planting time at last. And down here we've got A for ant, and the dog's looking at ants, and B for beetle, and there's some beetles crawling on the leaves right there. Dig the holes and plant the seeds, keep them watered, pull the weeds. Here's our letter C and a crow. So we have some crows in the pumpkin patch. And D for dragonfly flying around. Seeds grow roots and roots take hold. Stems pop up and leaves unfold. E for earthworms crawling around in the dirt. And F for fly. Lots of flies in the pumpkin patch. Pumpkin vines fill each row. Leaves are high and blossoms grow. We have G for grasshopper, and here's some grasshoppers hopping around. And H for hummingbird. We need the hummingbirds to come and get the pollen from the flowers. Beneath the blossoms, pumpkins form, growing fast while it's still warm. And we have an I for inchworm, and you can barely see an inchworm right there, but there's some inchworms on this page. And J for junco, which is a kind of bird, and I just learned something. Look at that. Weeds grow faster day by day. Stop the weeds by spreading hay. So we have a K for a kitten in the pumpkin patch, and L for ladybugs, and there's lots of ladybugs in there. Watch the pumpkins grow till fall, orange and ripe, cut them all. M for moth, some more moths that flying around, and N for nuthatch, which is another kind of bird I didn't know about before. Decorate the pumpkin stand, paint a bright new sign by hand, make some scarecrows out of hay, pumpkin selling starts today. So now Patty's Pumpkin Patch is going to start to sell her pumpkins. And it's night, so we have O for owl, and P, this one's kind of tricky. P for pheasant, and I know that sounds like a word, but pheasant's actually a word that starts with P. The patch is busy when it's light. The patch is busy in the night. We have a Q for quail, which is a bird that we find in the fall a lot in the pumpkin patch. And R for raccoon, the raccoons come out at night. Help your buyers pick and choose the size and shape just right to use, big or small or in between. Soon it will be Halloween. We have S for snails crawling on the leaves, and T for toad, and there's a toad sitting down in the pumpkin patch right there. Have some pumpkin carving fun, pumpkins grinning when you're done. And we have U for an underwing moth, which I guess is a kind of moth that's flying around, and V for vixen, which is a girl fox. Let your jack-o'-lanterns greet spooky friends who trick or treat. And we have a W for wren and an X for xylem. Now that Halloween is past, it's time to close the pumpkin patch. So we have Y for yellow jacket, which is kind of like a bee or a wasp, and Z for zebra butterfly. So it's a butterfly with some pretty stripes on it. The weather's changing, time to find the biggest pumpkin left behind. Scoop out all the seeds to dry. Store away your spring supply. Oil and salt and roast the rest. Share them with your winter guests. So remember when we talked about our pumpkin cycle, we talked about planting the seeds that are inside the pumpkin, but you can also roast them up and nibble on them as well. So have fun with that. Thanks for joining me for story time, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.